Very much, Mr. Chairman. It's been interesting to listen to some of the discussion today, and it reminds me that generally when the Congress gets involved in the engineering questions of the Internet, we sometimes show that we don't understand the Internet, and we often almost make mistakes. I think about the call that some on the committee made to, quote, bring in the nerds during the SOPA discussion, because it was pretty obvious that most of the members didn't even know what DNS was. I do think, therefore, that this hearing is very, very helpful because it informs us and the American people about what really is the question before us. I remember I was on the committee in 1998, 1997, when we had these discussions initially, and obviously America invented the Internet. But it became obvious to all of us in the mid-90s that we were not going to have an international Internet run by the Department of Commerce. That was just not going to work. And we had some choices to make, and the choice we made, and I think it's proven to work very well, is to have private sector, multi-stakeholder governance of these core functions. And it's driven by, engineers and technical people. And I think, and it's not just the generic top-level domain system. I mean, for IPv4 and IPv6, we have a non-governmental function that's being, those at that level are being managed by the ERN and RIPE in Europe and elsewhere. So this is not new. Mm-hmm. And I do think it's important that we stand up for what has worked, because the alternative, which was the same alternative we really had in the 90s, was to try and have government control of this system. Now, we have had discussions, ITU had the conference in Dubai where authoritarian regimes openly discussed trying to take over all functions with an intent to subvert the free and open nature of the Internet. I think we can't have it both ways. Either we're for non-governmental, multi-stakeholder governance, or we're for governmental governance. And if it's the latter, I think we're walking into a very serious bad problem, which is the agenda of authoritarian regimes to take over this. Now, I am against government control of the Internet. I'm against government regulation of the Internet. And I think, and I come from Silicon Valley, all of the Internet companies that I'm aware of are in favor of an open Internet. So I guess my question to you, Mr. Strickling, is do you know of any of the Internet companies that oppose what you're doing?
No, and in fact, we've gotten the support of the Internet Association, which is a trade association of many of those companies. Google and Facebook and Cisco have all issued strong statements of support for this, and I'm sure others that I just don't recall sitting here now. I know that Vint Cerf was at one time on the governing board of ICANN, along with other famous Internet evangelists. What does Vint Cerf say about this proposal? Oh, Vint is a very strong supporter of this and has been quoted in the press multiple times over the last 3 or 4 weeks indicating his support for this.
Well, I would just urge, and I won't use all my time because we have another panel, but I think that it's important that this committee stand up against the inaccuracies that have been promulgated out in the press by people, I assume they're working in good faith, but who misunderstand what's even being discussed here. And that we stand up for freedom on the Internet, which means standing up for multi-stakeholder governance and against government control and regulation of the Internet. That's what this is about. It's what the decision was about in 1998, and I still remember the conversation I had with Howard Berman at the time saying, we're just not going to, it's not a good idea for the government to run this. And I think the committee was of one mind,
at that time, and hopefully we are of the same mind at this point to preserve a free and open internet. And I thank you for your service, sir.
Well, thank you, Congresswoman.